Hey everyone, welcome back. Happy Saturday. Hope everyone had a good week and is having a good weekend so far. Welcome back to Verified Gains, where we discuss cryptocurrency for the year 2025. Now, I will say if you are into Solana and or PopCat and you haven't subscribed yet, then you guys are really missing out big time. So please, if you're into Solana and or PopCat, please subscribe. And we'll make it a synergistic community here. And if you have any questions or comments, please, comment down below. But otherwise, we're really trying to create a community here, a community where we can all succeed during this, Bitcoin bull cycle. And eventually, we're going to discuss some other types of assets starting end of this year and starting next year. And our goal is really financial freedom. So, if that aligns with your goal, if you also are aiming for financial freedom, please subscribe. Okay, so enough of that. Let's dive right into the Bitcoin chart. So last time we were trying to break through the $106,000 resistance line. And since then, we actually successfully broke above it, retested, and consolidated above it. So today I'm going to confidently flip this over to a support line at $106,000. Now we didn't exactly retest it at 106,000, 111 like over here, but it doesn't have to be an exact science. Okay, as long as we have a general idea of where we stand in terms of TA, then that's really all we need. And honestly, this $85,000 support line, I think we can get rid of that. Okay, we'll keep the $98,000 line just in case. Now, when we zoom out, Bitcoin is doing quite well overall. We've broken through all the previous all-time high. We're really in price discovery mode at this time. However, the tariff wars continue. The trade wars continue. So we do have to be a little bit mindful and have to pay attention in terms of how the market is going to react to that news. So, speaking of, let's take a look at the NASDAQ 100. And what we see, for some reason, my parallel channel got deleted, but regardless, keeping in mind that we had a little gap over here that we potentially needed to fill. And, if that is the case, then that is a 11% drop from where we currently stand. So that is a big drop, and I'm not sure if that's going to happen right now or in a few months when some of the trade and tariff talks are going to continue. Excuse me. Okay, moving on, I want to take a look at S&P 500 very quickly as well. So, oh, you know what I think the problem is? Okay, it was not to a log scale. That's what the problem was. So, okay, bam. Okay, we're back. So yeah, I mean, it's very possible that for NASDAQ 100, we retest the center of this parallel channel. Okay, that would be the first step, but we'll see. In terms of S&P 500, again, we had the little gap over here. Technically, this was not a true gap. Had a high of 57.24 and a low of 57.16. So the real only gap is right here, and for S&P 500, that would be about a 9% drop. So I think it's a possibility, okay? I think it's a possibility, but I just don't know if it's going to happen anytime soon or later in the fall. So let's take a look at Solana. So a lot of things have happened. Now, Solana, unlike Bitcoin, has yet to retest the previous all-time high at 295. So we're still quite a distance away from that area. But right now we have to first overcome the $180 mark, which now, we've been rejected twice. So over here, yesterday, there is a slight chance of us actually overcoming this. I'm gonna maybe use the 2-hour interval to show what happened. So for some time during the day, it looked like we're actually consolidating above $180, but we ended up, breaking down below once again and got rejected off of it. So that's actually where we stand right now. And so, in terms of dollar cost averaging, I'm a little weary at this point because if we're getting rejected like this, there's a possibility that we might retest the $148 line, or at the very least 166. So what I really want to see is a clear break above $180 and a consolidation above it, kind of like what we saw with Bitcoin above 100, sorry, 100, just see, 106,000, excuse me. So that's what I want to see with Solana as well, above 180, and we're not there yet. So right now we're kind of in a neutral zone where we have to continue to monitor before we make any big moves. Next, let's take a look at PopCat. So PopCat, okay, has been holding very well. Although, we're not exponentially, going back to the upside. We're still holding quite well around this, 48 to 50 cent mark. And for the past week, on every red day, I've been buying in. So most notably, yesterday, I bought it for the first time since, I believe it was the 17th actually. On 19th, I didn't have a chance to really look at the market this past week. But, yesterday I dollar cost averaged twice because it was a pretty big drop. Part of the day was actually a green day. If you look at the 2-hour interval over here, there was a time when we're actually holding up pretty well in the 55-cent area. But then towards the end of the day, we ended up just creating a red candle. So I bought in, once around here, another once around here. And this morning I went ahead and bought more PopCat. So, on these red days, it's a great opportunity for me to continue dollar cost averaging. And I thought to myself, okay, should I also buy some dog whiff hat or should I rotate back into Solana? But I actually don't really see a reason why I should. I think it is a pretty promising meme coin and I'm fully committed. So I'll probably continue buying PopCat for the time being out of the meme coins. Now, Solana, I should probably dollar cost average a little more into Solana because I feel like I've been hyper aggressive with meme coins, but I've been, to be quite frank, ignoring Solana a little bit because I just don't know if the upside potential is quite as big as meme coin, which, I mean, that's no surprise, but it's just a matter of, how strong is my risk appetite and what are my financial goals. So right now, I'm in a hyper aggressive, but perhaps I should risk manage a little bit, which some of you might be saying, well, so your hedge against meme coin is a layer one altcoin. And that just goes on to show you how aggressively, how aggressive I am in terms of my risk appetite. But anyways, let's just stop the video here for today. It was just a quick little update on what kind of price points I'm looking for Bitcoin and Solana and PopCat. But anyways, thanks for watching and thanks for listening in. I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.